Things are happening at Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Manchester United will make a new midfield signing. And I think it's a pretty exciting time for the future of Manchester United's midfield. Obviously, there's been links to Baleba, Elliot Anderson, Wharton. It looks like United are going for two of those three. Now, a recent approach for João Gomez. Wolves may need to sell the player. We're going to talk about Sekou Kone. We're going to talk about Christian Orozco. Players that are young that could potentially come into the future midfield. And why Manchester United's sort of future midfield and future is starting to look quite exciting when it comes to experienced midfielders coming in, when it comes to players that will stay and go, when it comes to the youth in midfield. We're going to talk about all the latest because we're also looking at another young 16-year-old midfielder that's playing some first-team football as well. And then at the end of this video, we also got a few updates on Joshua Zirkzee. So, hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your 10-minute Manchester United news, transfer news, and update roundup show, where I'm going to round up all the latest Manchester United news into 10 minutes for you guys. So a lot of people have been going, well, what's going on with Sekou Kone? Why isn't he playing? Why isn't he with the first team? Sekou Kone picked up a really horrible eye socket injury a couple of months ago, and he's been out ever since. He made his return to action versus Notts County, and he's now just working back. He's expected to get opportunities for Manchester United, but looking to do a mid-season tour to the UAE and maybe Saudi, and there could be potential opportunity for him to get some minutes there. That's all sort of. And the plan for Sekou Kone is they're just integrating him back. They want to get him back playing with the under-21s. And I'm sure if the squad gets thin, if there's some injuries, he's going to be called upon because he is seen as the fifth choice midfielder after Ugarte and Maino. If something happens to Ugarte, Maino, Casemiro and Bruno, he is the fifth choice. There's talk of Mason Mount maybe playing deeper or Mazraoui being put in midfield, but he is seen as the fifth choice. Chris Wheeler and Nathan Salt have given an interesting update on Sekou Kone. Sekou Kone has been hard at work, building himself up to full fitness after making his return to the pitch. That work now includes teaming up with Dorgu and taking sessions with a private coach. So Sekou Kone is working really hard to get back into his best shape, get back into his best fitness form, and we know that Ruben Amorim rates him very highly. When Sekou Kone is back, fully fit and ready, he will be training again with the first team, and he could be featuring in the first team squad. We saw him get a few minutes post-season tour, and he looked good. If we do go on a mid-season tour, he's expected to get minutes. Now, we haven't just got Sekou Kone, who's obviously currently with the club, but I spoke about it in my video yesterday. We've got Christian Orozco, who is playing unbelievably well for Colombia's under-17s, has been praised about a lot lately, and a lot of people have been praising him, saying, oh, one big club's going to sign him soon. No, the people that are praising him didn't realise that he's already signed for Manchester United. So we've got this really good 17-year-old balling out for Colombia. Sekou Kone is obviously a little bit older now, had a year with the club, but we've got these two exciting midfielders to come in. There's now talk of us signing a young German midfielder that I'm going to get into in a minute. But also, we know that United aren't just going to sign another young midfielders. They're going to sign some midfielders that are ready now. And there has been some recent links to João Gomez. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you would have known that not last summer, but the summer before, I spoke about João Gomez as a player that I really liked about 2 years ago. And I said that Man United have actually always had him on the radar. So it doesn't surprise me if we do go back for him. Chris Wheeler and Nathan Salt also mentioned this. Man United are monitoring Wolves midfielder João Gomez. United will prioritise signing a number 6 next summer. So that was said by Chris Wheeler and Nathan Salt. We also know that Elliot Anderson, Baleba and Wharton are all players that Manchester United are targeting this summer. Chris Wheeler, Nathan Salt, Romano, every journalist under the sun said that United love Elliot Anderson, Baleba, Wharton. They will do what they can, but that is seen as potential summer deal. Now, João Gomez, Wolves in a relegation battle. They're probably not going to sell João Gomez in January, but that is one that Manchester United will explore in January. Wolves may be forced to selling João Gomez in the summer, and he may be sold quite cheap because Wolves just look destined for relegation. Unless Rob Edwards can pull something out of the hat with a big January spend, Wolves look relegation destined. Now, United will prioritise signing a number 6 next summer. João Gomez is on the list, but of course, Elliot Anderson, Baleba and Wharton are the main three on the list. And what really excites me about this, personally, is that these are all midfielders I want Man United to sign. Sometimes we'll be linked to midfielders. Like, remember 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, we're linked to midfielders. Or it's just over a year ago, actually. It was like Ugarte, Sander Berge. We may bring back Amrabat. Like, none of us was getting excited. We're like, they were the midfielders we wanted. No one was like, wow. Now, when we're being linked to midfielders, Elliot Anderson, Wharton, Baleba, Stiller, the names that people want us to sign. What I find particularly exciting is Man United are going for the players that we want us to go for. We're going for the right kind of midfielders. Santos, Stiller, Baleba, Anderson, Wharton. We like Camavinga as well. All the midfielders that we're looking at, I'm like, I like him. I like João Gomez. I like this player. You know, if we were getting linked to Palhinha, I'd be a bit like, but he's got the same problem as a guy. Limitations on the ball. I think he's been good for Tottenham, but do you know what I mean? You know, Conor Gallagher's obviously the one that we are getting linked to that we don't like, but that is purely a January deal. It's not a summer deal. It's not someone we're looking at in the summer. Like, we're being linked to the right kind of midfielders, and I think that's exciting. And Romano said this. And for sure, Manchester United in 2026 will add again at least one midfielder. I think we're signing 2 midfielders, but he said at least one. Romano has confirmed we are signing a midfielder in 2026. We are making a midfield signing in 2026. It's happening. It's happening. We are signing a midfielder. I don't know what midfielder we're going to sign. We are signing a midfielder. We've got young midfielders. We've been linked to this, you know, coming in. But we will sign a big one. We will sign a young midfielder maybe again. But we'll sign a Baleba, Wharton, Anderson type player in the summer. In terms of the young midfielder we're looking at, Manchester United are one of many top European clubs following the process of 16-year-old midfielder Kenneth Eichhorn from Hertha Berlin. He has a 10 million release clause. He's 16. He's already playing first-team football. There's another midfielder we're looking at. Now, that won't be the midfield signing we make to replace Casemiro, obviously not. But he's believed to be a player, and I've not watched him, who has very good positional awareness, very good composure, very good passing range, has been compared to Toni Kroos, has been compared to Joshua Kimmich. He reads the game well, but he's very good on the ball. And he's £10 million, one of the highest-rated young prospects to come out of Germany. So when you think we've got Maino, we could get Kenneth Eichhorn, Sekou Kone, Christian Orozco. We're looking to bring in Elliot Anderson and Baleba. Even though Bruno might go and even though Casemiro might go, the future of Manchester United's midfield, in my opinion, is weirdly quite exciting. There's a lot of talent there. Will Ruben Amorim be there to get the best out of them? Is Ruben Amorim the man to get the best out of them? Who will know? But it is exciting. I look at young midfielders coming in potentially. I look at the players that we're looking at. I think there's a lot of exciting things. Now, interestingly, I think we will sign 2 midfielders. I think one of them will be a big Elliot Anderson type signing. I think the other one will be maybe a 30, 40 million midfielder. I don't know if we get Elliot Anderson and Wharton, but we might get Elliot Anderson and João Gomez, or Elliot Anderson and Angelo Stiller, or Elliot Anderson and this young 16-year-old I'm talking about, Hertha Berlin. I don't know what we will 100% do. But there is now talk of Casemiro staying. It started with Alex Crook. Ruben Amorim is open to the idea of keeping Casemiro. That is likely to require Casemiro to take a pay cut. He's currently one of United's top earners in excess of £300 a week. I spoke about this earlier. I said I think if Casemiro takes a wage cut, he could stay, but we don't know if he'll take a wage cut because there is Saudi clubs and US clubs interested in him, and he's doing very well, so his stocks are going to be high again. Graham Bailey even said, Man United have made contact with Casemiro's camp and floated the idea of a contract extension. United are looking at performance-based deal with a drastically reduced contract that has substantial appearance fees built in. So I like the idea of Casemiro staying if his wages are significantly less than they are now. Will Casemiro do that? I don't know. But if it was performance-related, if it was related to how much he plays, I think that would be quite good. I don't see Casemiro signing that. Casemiro, for me, has got to half his wages to stay at the club because the amount he's on is ridiculous. Like, he's been so good this season and so key, and every time we take Casemiro off, we collapse. But for him to stay, he needs to half his wages. He cannot be on over £150 a week if he stays. I just don't know if he's going to half his wages. Talking of staying, there's one player that's expected to leave. Well, there's rumours Maino could leave on loan, but I think Zirkzee is more likely going to be allowed to go than Maino, purely because the midfield is thin. If there's an injury to Casemiro and Bruno, that's Agate if Maino goes, you know. But there is talk of Zirkzee, and it has been said by Sky Sports that Zirkzee is very high up on Everton's list as well. Now, Everton obviously brought Barry in, but Barry hasn't scored a goal in 13 games. He's not looking great. And Everton are now turning their attention to Zirkzee. If I was Zirkzee, I'll go back to Italy. I can see if he wants to stay in the Premier League, but I think the Italian league, he knows that he can boss it there. He wants to get back in the World Cup squad. He wants to find form, less media on him. If I was Zirkzee, I'd probably go back to Italy. That's an interesting one to watch. But yeah, I wanted to talk about the future of Manchester United midfield. Obviously, we've got the young players coming in. We're probably going to make 2 midfield signings. Romano's confirmed we'll make 1. I think it's quite interesting. I think the future of our midfield is going to be exciting with Maino, Kone, Orozco, whoever we bring in. I think we're going to get Elliot Anderson. I have a sneaky feeling. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.